Hi, everyone. Welcome to Business is Politics. Joseph Lavoie here, and I've got a super quick one for you today because I am slammed at work. I want to talk about the concept of choosing to sit on the sidelines more often than actually participating in a regulatory campaign. This is something I see often, which is when faced with the need to engage the public, engage voters, and do so in the context of securing regulatory wins. Often businesses think that that is too risky of a proposition. The assumption being that, well, it's a little too political. And if I do that, I'm going to be pissing off the regulators, I'm going to be pissing off political actors. And so it's not worth the risk. In fact, I will try and simply resort to back channeling and private engagement with political decision makers. Too often, though, that doesn't quite work. In fact, you have to be willing to come off the sidelines, play in the game, and run a campaign. And that's because if you can't demonstrate the fact that you've got public support on your issue, then you're not giving much of an incentive to political actors to endorse your cause or your public policy position. The other reason for why campaigning is a strategic necessity, and I think not much of a choice, is that you want to be able to influence outcomes in your favor. And when you are prepared to run a campaign and engage voters directly, you are commanding respect from decision makers. More often than not, you're actually not pissing them off. You're demonstrating them that you know how to do this well and that you're prepared to put in the blood, sweat, and tears that they do every election cycle to secure a win. And so don't necessarily focus on if you're worried about the risk profile attached to running a campaign. You don't necessarily have to always run an antagonistic campaign. The campaign can be very positive. You can look for opportunities to build support and demonstrate that public opinion is on your side and on the side of elected officials. We often think that campaigns necessarily have to be antagonistic in a way to drive contrast. More often than not, that is true, but it doesn't have to be the case. There are ways in which you can run campaigns that actually throw a lot of wind into the sails of the political actors you need on side. And there is a lot of value in a regulatory context of demonstrating that you've got public support and the public endorses your perspective on these things. That actually paves a way for elected officials and regulators to consider your perspective. And so when it feels uncomfortable to consider engaging the public in a regulatory context, I suggest really dig deep and look at ways in which you can actually participate, build up public support, and do so so that you secure your win. And sometimes, more often than not, sitting on the sidelines is riskier than participating in a campaign.